We're all getting set up here. So today we're going to be talking about real estate photography and how to use it best as you use it in your marketing.
I am Matthew with Dyson Photo Tutoring. This is my beautiful wife Jennifer with SM Snack Bar, and we're sort of doing a joint Periscope tonight. So if you kind of see us looking back and forth, we've got a little bit of a project, sort of an experiment going here. We've got two phones set up on two different tripods, and we're going to kind of share this Periscope because we think that the information that you're going to be able to get out of this Periscope is going to be able to be cross-promoted both with social media management with different companies, which is what SM Snack Bar is all about. Managing your social media content, boosting your awareness in the public, increasing your marketing, increasing your client base, and being able to spread the word around about how to improve everything about your business. It's also going to go very, very well with Dyson Photo Tutoring, because the main things that we're going to talk about tonight are different real estate photography tips. How to get better real estate photography straight out of the shoot, whether you're an experienced photographer or a novice who's just getting into this, and real estate is more your niche than photography itself. So we're going to, again, sort of move in the direction of both of these categories and see how this dual Periscope is going to work tonight.
So first, what equipment do you use?
Okay, so with real estate photography, whether you are, again, a novice or an experienced photographer, the first thing that you need to do and the first thing you need to get when dealing with real estate photography is a good quality, solid digital SLR. This is an interchangeable lens camera that is going to allow you better low light capability, a wider range or a wider variety and range of different lenses, flashes, things of this nature. You don't necessarily have to get a high-end, super pro level, full-frame digital SLR. However, I will say that I personally do use a full-frame Nikon SLR. The reason that I opt for a full-frame camera is the sensor is larger, and what it's going to do is it allows for much better low light capabilities. So if you're shooting in a house or an apartment or an office building or anything of this nature, and the light is really, really poor at this time of day, you don't have a lot of light coming in through the windows, this low light capability does help. However, any camera that is purchased within the last 5 years, 4 years, new, is going to have an incredible low light performance. For this style of photography. So definitely get yourself a digital SLR. Another key thing is you need to have a wide angle lens, okay? And the importance of a wide angle lens is because if we're in a situation where you're in a really, really cramped room and you're in a small bathroom or just a really small one-bedroom apartment, you want to be able to get the entire room in the shot. And a wide angle lens is going to do that. The lens that is provided with most of your cameras is not nearly wide enough, okay? In a crop sensor camera, which is a standard consumer level camera, you want to have something in the range of about a 10 millimeter wide. Tamron and Sigma both make really great inexpensive options for this. However, if you are going to opt for a full frame camera, or if you own a full frame camera, then something in the neighborhood of about a 15 millimeters wide is going to be enough to get you the shot that you're looking for.
What tips do you have?
One of the best tips that I'm going to be able to give you is you want to shoot low, okay? And by shooting low, I don't necessarily mean that you want to crawl around on the ground to get the shot, okay? But lines in a house, corners of walls, doorways, windows, everything is completely vertical lines, okay? When you walk into a house, you've got the walls and the corners and the door frames, and they're all straight up and down, okay? They're straight vertical lines. We stand, and our head is generally well over halfway high on the wall. If we shoot at that angle, a lot of times what you're going to get is lines that are curved or bent in, okay? You're going to have the walls or the door frames are going to look like this. They're going to look bowed. So what you want to do is I would definitely recommend that you use a tripod. again, because a lot of these situations that you're going to find yourself in are very low light situations. So the shutter speed may drag or get to be a little slow. So with a tripod, shoot low. And again, by low, I mean about, I don't know, about waist high, a little higher than waist high, maybe about 6 to 8 inches above countertop height. This puts the lens of the camera about midway up the wall, right about halfway. And if you do that, you have a good perspective of above the lens and below the lens, about the same ratio. And this is going to help you straighten out a lot of those lines, giving you good clean shots, and it's not really going to distort your images. So if your real estate client or your real estate agent needs to get good, more realistic shots of the room, shooting low is going to be a really, really big thing. Another thing is color. Okay, when you're dealing with lights that are in a house, a lot of times you're going to be dealing with what's called tungsten lighting, sort of the Edison bulb, just the regular standard round bulb that's in your bedside lamp. Whenever those are filling the house, those give off a really, really orange glow. They give off a really orange hue. And when this happens, you have a color shift in your picture. This can look warm and inviting. Warm light is a nice inviting tone, but if it's overpowering, it's going to take out all of the natural color in the home, and it's going to shift a lot of the real colors, the paint on the walls, the furnishings, the drapes, whatever you're going to have. So learning how to color correct using the white balance in your camera is absolutely crucial. The white balance settings have a lot of auto presets in there, but there's a really quick and easy way to manually correct a white balance. You just have to learn how to go into your menu on your particular camera model and adjust that. It's a little different model to model, a little more than I can really get into on a little Periscope
Will
tonight.
that make pictures look less dingy?
Absolutely, yeah. Because whenever have you ever been rooting through old family photo albums and you come across photos that are just really, really orange, okay, or kind of the muted, dull, dingy tones? Most of the time with old film cameras, that was because the flash didn't go off. Okay, you were indoors and the flash didn't go off. The colors were weird and shifted and muted. So when you're dealing with white balance, what you're doing is you're telling the camera what is white. Well, if white is white, then red is red, and green is green, and blue is blue, and those colors are more accurate, okay? So yeah, absolutely, a white balance correction will definitely enhance the vibrancy of the image, correct the color tones, making the image seem more inviting and natural. So, for sure.
It's good to know.
Balancing the exposure for inside versus outside. This is a big thing, too. If you are in the house and you're shooting, and you're going to get sometimes where you're going to get a beautiful image of the inside of the house, but what you'll get too is if it's really bright outside, because you have to shoot in the middle of the day, you'll get a really pretty picture of inside the room, but that's going to make all the light from outside really blown out, and your windows are totally white. Really nice images of inside, but really blown out outside, and you don't get that realistic look. At the same time, if you shoot too quick, you're going to get to where your camera exposes well for the light that's coming in through the windows, so the trees and the cars and whatever else is outside the window is going to look totally natural, but everything inside is going to be really, really dark. So learning how to adjust for balancing the light inside and outside is a big key thing. Now that's something a little bit more advanced than just regular auto shooting is going to give you. One of the ways that you can correct that is by creative positioning of different flashes. We can get into that, I think, in a different Periscope whenever we actually have time to sit and dive into flash photography. But we'll definitely get into that right there.
Okay. Would you suggest that people take their time and not rush it?
Yes, that's a big thing. When I get real estate agents that come to me and they say, "Look, I want help learning how to do this kind of shot. I want to get better real estate photography. I want to get into a house and get in and get out, and I've got to do that. Time is money. I need to get in. I need to get out." But then they also show me some example photos of what they want. They say, "This is the kind of image that I'm looking for. This is the kind of shot that I get. Why am I not getting this shot?" Well, the number one reason they're not getting the shot is they're not using a tripod, and they're rushing. They are getting into the house. They are snapping a quick picture. They're getting out of the house. They get back to the office, and then they go, these are terrible. What do I do with this? This isn't going to sell a house. You have to take your time. You have to slow down. You have to use a tripod. You have to get into the home. You have to get those lines right. Again, when you shoot either too wide in a house or your angles are wrong, it distorts the look of the room and it creates a very unrealistic image of that area. So you want to make sure that you go slow, you take your time, you get the shot. If you spend an extra 10 or 15 minutes in a room and you make the images beautiful, you're going to sell a home. If you make the images quick and dingy and distorted and unrealistic, it's not going to entice a buyer to want to come into that neighborhood and look at or purchase a home from those photos.
And would you suggest to do artistic shots? Like, I see a lot of real estate agents that take a picture of a house straight on,
Right.
but instead of straight on, maybe from the side, so they actually see the tree lines leading up to the house, or something from an artistic point of view that would almost invite somebody to come into the picture, other than just a quick snapshot of the front.
Absolutely. You definitely want to get a more realistic, just straight on shot of the front of the house. That is something that you definitely don't want to overlook in lieu of creativity. One thing where real estate photography really differs from high-end architectural photography is if a client owns a building, a 3-story office building, or any sort of really rustic or artistic-looking structure. If they hire you to come in and take pictures of their really up-to-date modern facility, they're going to want creative, artistic images. Okay? That's the key for high-end architectural shots. For real estate pictures, the number one goal is to get the image of the house. You want to see the front. But in order to create a selling point for that house, you don't want to overlook the more artistic feel. If you've got a really beautiful winding drive, curved drive with trees lining it, or if you've got a really creative or artistic flower bed or fountain in the backyard, you want to be able to get some of those more artistic angles to get these shots. And speaking of more artistic looks and angles, for doing exterior shots of the home, you absolutely want to pick the right time of day to take this picture. High noon on a sunny day will have lots of light, but you'll also have super harsh shadows. You'll have really rough contrasts, and a lot of the sky will blow out sometimes, and you'll get an overly washed out sky. So some of the things that you can do to help this are to either shoot earlier in the morning or later in the afternoon, really depending on how the light is falling on that house, depending on where it's positioned. Twilight shots of a home are phenomenal. Okay, if you can get images of the house about 30 to 45 minutes before sunset or right around sunset, again, probably 30 or 45 minutes because the sun is really low, the light is really soft, you'll really give some depth and color to those pictures, and that will, again, really create some artistic looks and artistic flows to the home, giving them the images a lot more inviting presence on your site.
But you want to be aware of like trash cans and that.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember when we were shopping for our home, we were looking online, and that was one of the things that we found a lot of, is that I don't even want to go look at that house because all I can see in the photo is the dumpster or the trash cans or all the kids' toys that are drug out all over the yard, or things that are going to make these images or these homes look way less inviting. So definitely you want to make sure that you're aware of your surroundings, pay attention to the things that are going on throughout the entire property to make sure that you help the image stay as clean as possible.
And would you suggest a rule of thirds for like at least the exterior of the home?
I think rule of thirds in this particular instance isn't nearly as crucial as it is in like more portrait and landscape photography. And the real reason is because you're wanting to fill the frame with the home. It's kind of hard to say as as a general rule, whether to offer the rule of thirds as something that you would want to aim for, because it's hard to say what each house is going to look like. It's hard to say what each home and each property is going to provide you. That's something that you might want to save for your creative architectural shots of the cool modern 3-story office complexes, but not necessarily for home photography.
Good to know. What about drones?
Drones. Real estate agents, pay attention, okay? Drones, such as like the DJI Phantom 3s, they are becoming more and more and more affordable. The quality has gotten to be absolutely stunning, and you can create some absolutely breathtaking images using these drones. You can do some incredible videos using these drones, quick things to throw on your website. They are phenomenal. However, one thing that you do need to be aware of is currently there's not technically a law preventing you from using a drone to capture images for commercial use for your real estate photography business. However, the FAA has put some hard guidelines on drone photography. I have dug and done extensive research trying to nail down the exact laws and rules here, because I am this close to getting a drone. Honey, I'm sorry to break it to you, but I'm this close to getting a drone. Okay, I want to use this for my business. I want to use this for commercial use, but I also don't want a big fine. Again, while there's no law preventing you from doing this, the FAA has come up into some regulations. They are requiring that you request a it's something like a Section 333. That's the right number. I just don't know the right terminology, but it's basically a grant or a permit that is going to allow you to use this drone for commercial use. There are a lot of people online that are taking drone videos and posting them to YouTube, and whenever ads are placed on their videos, boom, that makes them commercial use, and they're getting letters in the mail from the FAA saying, hey, guess what, we saw your video online, and now we're going to fine you. At first, we're going to warn you, if you do it again, you're going to be fined, but again, there's some legal battles that are sort of happening, so it's still sort of in a limbo state because the rule from the FAA is still being devised. They're still trying to figure out exactly what the rules are, so be careful. Now, having said that, there's a lot of real estate photographers out there that are using these, and they're basically using the argument of it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission. So they're doing the thing. They are creating their videos. They're getting a one-up over their competition. They are creating stunning videos, selling more houses, and nobody even knows. I mean, the FAA is not going to be able to monitor every single drone video and drone photo site on the internet. It's just way too vast of a job for that. But again, that is an option. Apply for the 333 permit. It might take a little while to get the approval, but if you use drones, you are going to be able to get some great shots of the surrounding neighborhood or the surrounding property, or a variety of other cool things that may help you sell your home.
Which leads me to videos taking over. As we all know, social media, especially Facebook, is clinging to videos and boosting up your organic rate. And organic reach is anything that's not paid for. So we want to boost up that organic reach as much as possible. So using videos is the great way to do it. Periscope is a great way that you can do it. You can do it in the home. You can do it in the neighborhoods. I highly suggest using it at like your farm, the local farmers market, to show you that your prospective buyers a place they can go to buy fresh fruits and vegetables. I also suggest 360 videos.
Oh, speaking of 360 videos, coming back to the photography side of this whole thing, Nikon has recently released recently announced, a very promising 360-degree video camera. It is, it's called the Mission 360, if I'm not mistaken. And now that I'm on Periscope and I'm trying to say it live, I am having a sort of a brain malfunction and can't recall it exactly. However, Nikon does have a very promising looking 360 video camera. I am extremely excited about it. It's from a company that is notoriously famous for extremely sharp images, great low light performing equipment. Nikon is a champion in the photography world, and I am really excited about their 360 video camera for both my photography aspect and you, Jen, for being able to show your not only your real estate clients, but any of your small business owners, if they want to utilize 360 video to do a virtual tour of their shop for their website, for a small clothing boutique or a children's daycare or any sort of thing. The 360 video is a really good way. So yeah, talking about the video taking over is a very, very valid point.
Well, I mean, we've got friends that, we have a friend that's an artist that would be great for doing at her art shows. We've got another friend who's a musician, which would be great for his concerts.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, there's lots of possibilities for 360. So, I highly suggest everybody look into it. I know that YouTube is it's already been sort of supporting it. Mm-hmm. There's some speculations, like we were looking into one, but it kind of gave like a fisheye effect, and I didn't like it. That was when you put it on YouTube, it gave you, instead of being able to like move your phone around and look at it, it gave you like the fisheye look. Yeah, I didn't like it. Yeah,
you have to be careful. 360 video cameras are getting to be more and more popular all the time. The VSN V360 is a decent little machine, but it does have a few drawbacks, I think. First off, it's not able to do 360 up and down. It's only 360 degrees around. I believe that the new Nikon rig will actually be able to go view up and down, so above and below, as well as 360 around. The Ricoh Theta S is a fairly new machine that is on its way out. That is, or actually, I guess it is out now, and it looks extremely promising as well. I've seen various reports and reviews on that. I am currently waiting to get my hands on a Nikon machine. I will have one of those in my hands very soon, and as soon as I do, I will definitely get some cool promo and demo videos of that up on the website.
And we'll Periscope it.
Yes, we will Periscope it.
Yeah, and back to 360 and for being able to look up and look down, it's awesome because for our real estate agents, I mean, you guys can show the coins on your molding. You guys can show the tile on your floor.
Yes, good point.
I mean, that right there, and just being able to take the phone like this and do this with it would be awesome for any prospective buyer. So, I mean, that's taking technology to a whole new level. I highly suggest you guys look into it.
Yeah, what she was just saying about the phone, is that something that not everybody realizes you can do with the 360 video. When you record a 360 video and you're in playback, if you're playing back on a computer, you can just click on the video and then scroll around through the video, and it will pan the video left and right. But if you are viewing back a 360 video on your phone, you literally you can either scroll left and right with your finger on the screen, or you just physically take the camera and sort of twist and turn and move your phone up and down, and it will give you that field of vision from that camera's perspective, just like that. It's just like you are the cameraman and you're operating the camera. And this is in playback mode, so you can do it anytime that you want. And a lot of companies like the V360 and Google and many others have come out with goggles that you can just slide your phone into the goggles, wear the goggles, and then just physically turn your head and look around. And it's an absolutely amazing way to get a new perspective for your real estate clients or whoever.
I mean, well, the first thing I look into whenever I move into a new neighborhood or we look into buying a home is one about the schools, because we have kids. And then another thing is, I want to be able to picture myself there. And what better way than to actually have a video footage of being able to be there without actually being there.
So it means we're going to have a lot of road trips taking 360 videos?
Yes.
Yes, you heard it here. She gave us permission. Road trips, okay.
But he knows I'm Hitler, so.
Yes.
I'm a road Nazi. I don't like stopping.
It's from point A to point B, so it's a little tough to enjoy some of the road trips these days. But that's okay.
We stop for gas only.
All right, so yeah, those are the real estate video and photography tips that I've got. You know, take your time. That's crucial. Learn the white balance in your camera, whether you're a novice or a hobbyist or a very advanced photographer. Learning a little bit about white balance can save your photos. Do that. Get an actual SLR, something you can interchange your lenses on, and get a good wide angle lens in order to give yourself a good wide field of view. Having a flash or two is never a bad idea. Not absolutely crucial if you are able to manipulate your exposure just right, but flashes will definitely make your job easier. You can definitely message me at, you can go to www.dysonphototutoring.com and click on the contact button there and email me any questions that you've got about that. Or you can also go to Facebook and check me out at Dyson Photo Tutoring on Facebook and Twitter. And
then my information is, if you guys have any marketing questions or want help with getting your business off the ground with social media, you guys can visit me at socialmediasnackbar.com. Also, SM Snack Bar on Twitter, and that's also my Periscope handle, and you guys can also find me that same way on Facebook.
All right. You guys have a good night. I think that this double Periscope thing kind of panned out pretty well. We may do this again in the future. If we do, we'll come up with some cool topics, and we'll see you next week. You guys have a wonderful night. Take it easy.